Hello, Lions fans. I'm here to tell you why we should have faith in Matt Patricia. Sure, it's been a rough season, but I have a lot of faith, specifically because of how the team looked at the end of the season. Now, to start off, I understand there were some confusing tactics, such as trading away Golden Tate. Obviously, our offense was burdened, and we have a lot of work to do to improve. But there were some key signs in the season that showed that Matt Patricia was an excellent coach and has the ability to take this team to success. And I'm not just talking about a win over the Patriots and the Packers. The main thing that I think Patricia did very, very well is how he attacked talent on the team. Pride of Detroit, a good media organization, mentioned that the hardest part of being a coach is getting talent that fits your system, not coming up with a system that works. And I think in this key area, Matt Patricia has shown a lot of promise. He's been able to do this several times, no matter how bad the team looked in that area. A great example is the run game. We had multiple 100-yard games this season, and that was something we struggled with for years. Now, that's a good example of getting the talent, but it's easy when you spend multiple draft picks on it. But he's done it again and again throughout the season. A great example is after the first few weeks, our run defense was terrible. He made some changes, both schematically and also making the trade for snacks. And then in our last 8 games, we averaged only 77 yards against our defense, which was 4th best in the league. In fact, our overall defense performance improved greatly in our last 8 games, which were arguably against some of our hardest opponents. Now, in this video that I did about season review, I did point out it was a disappointing season, but I think another offseason and another huge chance to get more personnel is exactly what Matt Patricia needs. He's proven that he can get the pieces that he needs and fix the problems with scheme changes. The defense of the Patriots did do better without him this year, but they also had 4 new starters, including Hightower and some big performers coming back. But even regardless of that fact, coordinator experience doesn't determine who's a good head coach. There are plenty of good coordinators that are terrible head coaches. Granted, I could be overly optimistic, and as my name implies, I am almost always overly optimistic. If we have another season of great underperformance, I'm down to axe everyone. But I think it's important to note that Patricia inherited a pretty poor Lions team. Trading Golden Tate was what he got a lot of slack for, and I understand that killed our offense, which was basically struggling. That was just the card we took out of the house of cards to make it collapse. But let's face it, this team hasn't been competitive since 2014. If we made the playoffs this year, we wouldn't have really had that much of an impact. We would have maybe had another Patriots-like game where we take out a big hitter. Maybe. But that's a huge if, because every time we have a good team, we go to the playoffs and we have a huge meltdown. And trust me, I would love a playoff win. It hasn't happened in my lifetime. But if we're just going to get a playoff win just to get crushed the next game, maybe it'll be better to put together an actual competitive team. Something that can make a long drive, deep drive into the playoffs. And I think Patricia can do that. And as much as I hated to see Golden Tate leave, because he's one of my favorite players, I honestly think that it was the right move. We probably wouldn't have been able to sign him this season anyway. Might as well get something out of it. So that's basically how I want people to see Matt Patricia. A guy who's very schematically wise, can get personnel and talent where it needs to be. And while the trades might be controversial, I think there was a good purpose behind them.